G'day everyone. A bit of an unusual video today. I've gone out to the garage to do some filming. It's school holidays here and everyone's at home, and my wife and my daughter are watching a Disney musical in the living room where I normally paint. Yeah, I kind of like, I got the morning, I got painting done, but come after lunch, I just like with that on in the background, I said to myself, I think I have to go to the garage and do something completely different because that's just going to drive me a bit batty. But anyway, here we are. Now, either the last video or the video before, someone left a comment about inspiration for why you want to do colonials. And I hinted at that this early childhood inspiration that I got from this old book, The Happy Warrior. This is it's in rough condition. It's because it's original from 1958 and it's been well loved. But it follows Winston Churchill from his early life through to his death. But what really got me as a young fellow was particularly these early illustrations of his early life as a young man in the army. Have a look here. This is the Malakand expedition, which he, or the Malakand field force, which he became a part of. So you've got these wonderful elements. You've got the rugged landscape of the northwest frontier. You know, you've got Bengal lancers. Look at these, the Pathans, the tribesmen. All these classic comic book illustrations and heroic daring do. Look at this. Classic stuff. And as a lad, you know, I looked at this again and again. There's Winston holding those Pathans at bay, fighting withdrawal. Look at that. I mean, that's inspiring stuff. It was for me as a lad anyway in the 70s. And here they are, swarming over the rocks. Just give you a brief look at this. And then he went on to join Kitchener's expedition for the Second Sudan War. He wasn't really wanted. Kitchener didn't really want him, but he kind of wheedled his way in there and was there at the Battle of Omdurman. So here we go. There we go. In the Sudan. There's the Lancers. The charge of the 21st Lancers. Inspiring stuff. I mean, that's enough to sort of imprint itself on the mind of a young lad. Great images like that. Very cool, full of action and adventure. And there he is fighting off these, the Mahdists. There we go. And then of course, then it goes on from there to talk about his Boer War adventures and his escape from prison there and everything like that. So I just thought I'd quickly show you that, and you know, that's something that imprinted strongly on me. And I have started reading his book on the Malakand field force, but haven't finished it yet. What I've got here are some figures I've finished recently so far for this Colonial project. What I might need to do is just detach in order to get this a bit closer, because this is on the rare occasions I do actually play a war game, and this has nothing to do with COVID. It's just like I don't get to game very often. I'm far more of a painter and collector. It's just haven't, you know, it's just the way it's worked out. But my son and I both have collections of figures and things like that, and we are fortunate enough to have this table here is an old ping pong table. So it's quite large if we want to game on it. and it's just got a big green blanket on it. I really need something that will work for sort of more arid environment for these Colonial guys. Okay, what I'll do is I shall endeavour to detach the camera from the stand. Okay, so this is the first unit of Brits that I painted. This is a fairly generic khaki clad unit. It's 12 figures intended for the men who would be kings, as they have for regular units, they have 12s. Now the figures are pretty much mostly Zulu war miniatures, but what I've done is I've filed off the knotwork that they had on their sleeves and basically turned the gaiters that they had just by a simple paint conversion, turned them into puttees basically. Yeah. Just by painting them a sort of a browny colour, putting lines in there. And it seems to work pretty well. So they're fairly generic, so they could easily be in the Sudan or the Northwest Frontier. And the unit I most recently finished British unit is this one here, and this is based off an illustration that I saw in that I've got in Go Strong Into the Desert by Mike Snook, and there's a picture by one of the Perry brothers in there of the Royal Sussex Regiment, and so this is a detachment of the Royal Sussex, and in the hopefully it's not showing up as too sort of blue, but it is actually a grey. But, you know, greys can often look a bit bluish, have a bluish cast, either bluish or greenish. But there's actually, yeah, the colour, the highlight colour is a Reaper colour called Concrete Grey, actually. So, and has a base colour, a shadow grey kind of base colour from Reaper, and then a wash layer, and then back over with the original colours, and then highlighting up with the concrete grey, and then a couple of tones of khaki for the helmets. Again, Reaper paints. And for the bread bag, that's basically Vallejo deck tan, and the belts and stuff and the braces or whatever as Vallejo buff. There we go. I was pretty pleased with how the officer came out. Oh, get him in front of the camera. Excuse me. There he is. So he's the only one with a tuft on his base with these guys. So yeah. He's got this sort of dark blue puttees. But yeah, they're meant to be grey serge. And there's a couple of different figures in here. I think most of these there's probably a mix of Foundry and I know there's some Empress miniatures in here from their Zulu Wars range. There's a couple of guys in, is it called a Kilmarnock? This sort of undress cap, just for something different, you know. I've got a couple of guys like with that on. Looks kind of cool. Oh, he's going to focus slightly. So Empress and Foundry, I believe, and this one is actually, maybe back a bit. He's from Blacktree Design. Blacktree Designs. My friend had some spare figures from his Zulu War collection, and he this was one of them. So I thought, oh, all right, and he's got the Kilmarnock as well. I thought, oh, I'll just put him in there, mix him in. It's a slightly different style, but you know, they're painted all the same, the base all the same. It'll do for me. Yeah, so the Royal Sussex, so I was pretty happy. That's my second unit. Now what I've been doing with this project is I've been alternating between painting a British unit and a unit of Mardists, and I'll get across to them. So sliding across the table. There we go. Maybe move back a bit because these are bigger units. Now, what I've decided to do is I've based the Mardists on 25mm rounds, and the Empire troops are based on 20mm rounds, so that they can do that close order formation a lot better. It's just, to me, it looks a lot better when they're, you know, more tightly packed. And these guys can have that sort of looser formation. I mean, they're larger groups anyway. They're 16 figures, 16-figure groups for men who would be kings. So I haven't put a flag on, as you can see, on either of the units. Oh, lorry going past then. That wasn't too loud for you. Yeah, so I've used sort of a variety of different brown skin tones, but basically kept the clothing, apart from that guy in the middle, basically the clothing is pretty much like off-whites and stuff. He's the only one I think I've done with patches. How close I can get before it goes out of focus. So I think this first unit, the way I can identify them as a group is, I believe they've all got, the whole unit has tufts, one tuft on the bases. There's a way of sort of distinguishing them. And this is my second group, and the only tuft on this one is the guy who's going to be the banner bearer. I have got the flags that were on the instruction sheet, the little complimentary pamphlet that you get with the Perry's plastic box, so I can cut them out or copy them or something like that at some stage. I'll probably get around to that. Or just have a plain black flag. I have no desire to try and write in Arabic freehand, thanks very much, on a tiny scale. Yeah, I'll leave that to other people. So this is the second unit of Mardists. So like I said, I alternated between Empire unit and the sort of tribal units. And this unit, again, variety of skin tones. This has more rifle armed guys in it. Yeah, as I was saying, this has more rifle armed guys in the unit. Yeah, and a variety, like I say, a variety of different highlights and skin tones, and some of them have got the red sword sheaths that apparently they had, and the shields were apparently made from rhino hide, according to the info on the Perry's pamphlet anyway. So yeah, pretty happy with how they've turned out. So on the bench at the moment, I'm starting my next unit of Mardists, and they're going to be like Bija, is it? Or Hadendawa, or yeah, the Fuzzy Wuzzies basically. They're going to be 2 units of Fuzzy Wuzzies, and these are like all the other non-Fuzzy Wuzzy sort of head options. Yeah, just to mix it up a bit. So yeah, that's where I've got up to so far with the Colonial project. I've got loads more figures in the drawer to paint. There was those ones I showed you that I got it for Christmas. Plus I have spent some Christmas birthday money on ordering some more from Perry's. Not sure how long they'll take to get here. Things are a bit sort of hit and miss with postage at the moment. I had ordered some bases from a place I've ordered bases before in the UK. I won't tell you who, because it's not their fault, but yeah, that was well before Christmas, and they still haven't arrived, and I contacted them and they said that the Royal Mail had told them that some parcels were taking up to 3 months to get here. So I knew I needed bases for some projects, so I have basically, no pun intended, that was an accident. I have ordered some stuff from some Australian suppliers. and we'll see how that goes. So they should be arriving soon as well. And also ordered from eBay a second-hand book on the Indian Army of the Raj. I think it's the Mollo book. So it's an ex-library book. So yeah, it's not like pristine condition, but it should be a good reading copy anyway, to have a bit of a look at that. Because my focus is initially going to be to get enough troops for a Men Who Would Be Kings Sudan type game, and then I'll move on to eventually to more of a Northwest Frontier focus, and some of these troops, British troops in particular, will be able to cross over between the Sudan and the Northwest Frontier without any problems. Perhaps not the guy in the grey serge, but anyway, we shall see. Yeah, so I might give you a quick, hopefully not to make you dizzy. So now I've taken the camera off the tripod. So yeah, this is the table. Sorry, it's a bit messy in here, although we have tidied it up a lot recently. A couple of my son's training swords. They're not real. They're HEMA weapons. There's some trees, looks like some 40k stuff there. There's a bit of a sky background that I painted ages ago on a bit of hardwood. Shells of figures over there. A lot of it's my son's. There's drawers full of figures, boxes full of terrain. Yeah, that's some of my son's stuff. He's got a goodly amount of stuff. There's a heap of my stuff in the house as well, but this is some of it. This is like a toolbox full of different World War II items, mostly British, but I do have some German stuff as well, AFVs and things like that in there, and some unbuilt kits, like AFVs and things like that, rules and dice and terrain stuff and unfinished projects, and some, that's some of my World War II stuff in there, commandos. Oh yes, more 20mm British. Yeah, all my World War II stuff's 20mm. Mostly metal. Oh, there's some Germans. This was given to me, I think, ages ago. I haven't really done anything with it, but yeah. It hasn't been out to play the World War II stuff for a while. And over here, this is another area we have. It's like a messy area for terrain building and stuff. As you can see, it is a mess. Neither of us have probably sat down here for a little while to do stuff, but I do come in here to spray. It's a good place to like do spray varnish in the garage, or apply spray paint. You know, I've got various. There's some tree armatures there, and various flocks and things like that over the back, and materials, coir over there for making hedges and trees, and all sorts of bits and bobs. And there's some stuff underneath the ping pong table, boxes, or big boxes of terrain as well under there. But yeah, sorry, beg your pardon for making you dizzy, but that's about it for now. I'll probably take this back inside and stitch these various bits together. There's some Martis that I've started prepping, and some that still need undercoating. So I think I've got 8 on the desk at the moment, along with my commission work, which I would be doing, but I just couldn't concentrate with the Disney musical in the background. Alright guys, well, and there's my copy of Men Who Would Be Kings. Have a good one. I hope this wasn't too boring. Let me know if you want to see anything else, or have any questions. I have a large Dark Age collection and a bit of a Middle Earth collection, but they are in the house in a glass fronted bookcase. It's not lit or anything like that, so they are a bit hard to see, but yeah, so there you go. All right, I'll sign off here and hopefully get this up on the channel. All the best. Goodbye.